when my dreams finally come true, nothing is the way it's supposed to be. I'm married, but my husband doesn't love me. And if I'm honest, I don't love him either. How do you love a man who hates every part of you? It's hard. Trust me, I've tried. Over and over again. And through trying, I've lost a large piece of myself I'm not sure I'll ever be able to find. When I look into the mirror, I'm not even sure who I see anymore, and that scares the crap out of me. Because I wasn't always this way. I was strong and determined and full of life, and now I'm not. I'm weak, and I hate that I know it, yet choose not to do anything about it. It makes me feel even weaker. I might live in a beautiful city, but it's one I no longer get to experience because I'm stuck in this suffocating ivory tower, going through the motions but not actually living. Where I live is beautiful. The furniture, the paintings, everything expensive and top of the line. But it's not a home. It's simply a dwelling, a place to eat and sleep. And I can't imagine what it will feel like to raise a baby here. Rick and I tried for years to get pregnant. He wanted a baby with his last name, and I wanted someone to love. After 4 years of trying, at 34 years old, I didn't think it would happen. I brought up the idea of using in vitro fertilization a couple years back, but my husband scoffed at me and told me he's not defective, and only defective people need to use IVF. Then he proceeded to tell me I was probably the defective one, and if that were the case, he didn't want a baby with me anyway. I swallowed thickly at the memory of crying myself to sleep that night. My eyes burn and I close them tight, willing the tears to vaporize. Rick doesn't deserve any more of my tears. I know that. But still, they come. Because I'm weak. Glancing at the time on my cell phone, I see it's almost 10 o'clock. Rick should be home soon. I'm planning to tell him about the baby tonight. I'm not naive enough to believe a baby will repair our marriage, but I don't know what else to do. It's not as if things can get worse. My thoughts go back to when I was a little girl, of my father and mother yelling and screaming at each other, of my mother hitting him and calling him names, of the way she turned her hatred onto me when he died from a heart attack, and she found out the extent of his cheating. I was only 8 years old, but I can still remember the way my brothers tried to protect me. I know they would protect me now, if they knew, if I let them in. I pick up my glass of wine and once again have to stop myself from downing the entire glass. Closing my lids, I try to imagine how my baby's life will look. I refuse to let him or her grow up like I did, scared to talk out of turn, frightened of what mood my mother would be in when I got home from school, terrified the nasty words she spoke about me were true. It wasn't until my eldest brother Jax turned 18 and gained guardianship of me I was finally able to breathe. At the same time, my older brother Jace became emancipated. From the time I was 11 years old, I grew up in a loving home. I was given everything I could want or need. They treated me like a princess. And when I grew up, all I wanted was to meet a man who would treat me like his queen. Boy, was I naive. Fairy tales are overrated, if you ask me. Maybe the problem was that every girl wanted a Prince Charming and I got a king. One who rules with an iron fist to keep his castle in order. He's well respected by everyone and answers to no one. Maybe what I should have looked for instead was a sweet prince. One who would find my glass slipper or show me a beautiful library. He would kiss me awake to save me from the evil witch or take me away from the horrendous stepmother. Maybe the problem was that because my brothers told me I deserved the world, when I wished upon those shooting stars, I aimed too high. You know what they say.